What's up, Rewatchers? It's Dustin here to let you know that this show may feature strong or inappropriate language, so please be mindful of who around you can hear it. Also, we assume that you've at least watched the show or the episode we will be discussing. If not, just be warned that there are spoilers ahead. But really, it's your fault because these shows have been out for a while. Enjoy. Hi everybody, it's Dustin here, and we're back with part 2 of the Ghostwriter Nostalgia Chat with Tim from Riley J Designs on Etsy. Last week we had a lot of good throwback discussion about where we found Ghostwriter and how it impacted us. But now we get into the fun discussions of the what ifs and whatnot. So enjoy. Did you ever watch the new Ghostwriter Mysteries that was on CBS?
The new, I never did. I never have seen a single episode, but I've always been curious about it. I know it's a very different approach to the idea of Ghostwriter, but
it is. I mean, it's similar. At least it felt a little more similar. It was each mystery was only in the half hour. They didn't have multiple parts.
Right.
They never introduced you to how they met Ghostwriter. They just knew him.
Gotcha.
So it starts off and they're already in the middle of solving mysteries and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I hate when they do that. That's probably why I didn't stick around, because kids didn't connect with it. The ones who hadn't seen it on PBS before.
True.
They just didn't connect with the new one.
And don't even get me started on the
the Apple one.
Apple. Yeah. That's we're not even going to talk about that one.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
You say you love the show and you're a fan, and then you take it and you're like, you know what? I'm a fan. Everything needs to change.
That's true. That's true.
I would have just made, just make the same show, or at least similar.
Yeah.
You can change something, sure, but at least, make it where they're solving mysteries, not pulling characters out of books.
Yeah, they can make the exact same show and just don't call it Ghostwriter, and I'll be fine with it.
Yeah, just don't do that. I don't get it. So, but that's my issue, I guess. I don't know. But so okay, you said your favorite Lenny song was Side by Side.
No, not Side by Side. That's Time for a Change.
Oh, it's Time for a Change. I thought it was Toe to Toe. Oh, but
no, that's the one about community jam against violence and yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
my God.
Yeah, that was totally different.
That's right. That's when the freaking principal starts singing out of nowhere.
Exactly.
Side by side, we're gonna sing about pride.
And then they're all like, "What?" Exactly.
Got really into it too.
For sure.
Okay, yeah.
Time for a change
that's right.
with the best rap verse that's ever been written out of the 90s, for sure.
I don't know what my favorite song is. It's not Side by Side. It's not.
No,
I guess it's probably going to be You Gotta Believe. I mean,
yeah. I feel
oh
like.
yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta believe.
I feel like that's everybody's most well-known Lenny song.
Yeah.
Because it had the full, music video treatment. But I remember specifically watching that as a kid and thinking it looked and sounded way too well produced to be Lenny. That's how it rubbed me the wrong way when I very first heard it. Because there was a lot of bangers before that, like Time for a Change, and you have the Hoodman rap and everything else.
No, just a fellow from a comic book, but that's not all. You better take a second look.
Hoodman, just a fellow from a comic book, but that's not all. You better take a second look.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know. I still kind of know all these damn songs.
I know, me too. Exactly.
Hoodman!
All right, so Tim, let's talk about the books.
Yes.
So you said you had about 4 books, I think you said.
Yeah,
something
4
like
or
that.
5, something
You remember
like
which
that.
ones you had?
I definitely remember Clinton Street Crime Wave, the Haunted. What did we decide the title was? The Haunted.
Steer Clear of Haunted Hill.
That's the one. Steer Clear of Haunted Hill. I think my favorite one actually was there was like a behind the scenes get to know the cast one. Do you have that one?
Yeah, I do. I have that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was so good. I remember just rereading that so many times because like watching these kids felt like I was their friend, like, or they were my friend. And so then reading about what the actors themselves were like was kind of another level of like connection that I felt really excited by.
They're real people.
Yeah,
They're just like us.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, I could theoretically go to New York and just like meet them and hang out with them. And I think that, I mean, that's every fan's, dream or whatever. But it made
definitely.
it made it seem really real because I mean, yeah, real people are real. But
Well, okay, so I think I counted these earlier and I said I had 21 books, something like that, and the postcard book.
Yep.
So if you can see them, there they are.
Oh, that's beautiful.
There's all the books I have. It's not even all of them. There's like I said, 10 more somewhere out there I haven't gotten yet. And I've got them all in order. I still have them in the order that they came out too. Like I always do that.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They're not even numbered or anything, and they're not like particularly thick books, but
they're good reads though. They're nice, quick reads.
Yeah, and they had some good writers. Like they had like Eric Weiner. He's done a lot of stuff, and he actually did quite a few of these. But they had some good writers writing these books, and I always wanted to be one of them.
Yeah, I think I remember actually trying to write one as a kid.
I remember so there's one done by Eric Weiner. It's one of the first like actual story books because they had the Detective's Guide. The Ghostwriter Detective Guide to help you out. And I got two of those. So that one of them I wrote in, and the other one I didn't.
Oh, nice.
I know, I was smart about it. And so they had another one that was called The Match of Wills or A Match of Wills.
Okay.
And it was really smart. It was actually one of those ones that had some good like Hardy Boys style writing to it. Where you're like, oh, that makes sense. Okay. And they told you the answer in the beginning of the book, but you didn't realize it.
Oh, kind of thing, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, when you look back and like you were saying, Steer Clear of Haunted Hill. I did love that one. I remember reading that on summer vacation, and it was so cool. But it was still fun, like a crossword puzzle book. There's some with like trivia. Like Gabby had a book about trivia, and
wasn't there a mail out sheet or something, like a newsletter from PBS?
Yes. So let me get into that. So, okay, I actually signed up for the newsletter, and there was a newsletter that came out from Bantam Doubleday, and then there was actually the Ghostwriter magazine that came out from PBS. And that usually you could get that sent to your house, and if you didn't get it at your house, you could go to your library, and they usually have them there.
Whoa.
And so I had to pick up some there. So first of all, I have the fact sheet for teachers and parents, and to tell you all about Ghostwriter and everything.
Oh gosh.
Right there.
That looks familiar. I may have had that as well.
Yeah. So you have the fact sheet, and then I have a listing of some of the beginner books and everything.
Ah, so cool.
You can see those. I don't know. Let's see here. So I also have a letter about Ghostwriter to the parents and whatnot.
Oh,
and then
so
I had
cool.
the Ghostwriter magazine.
Ah, yes.
So this was issue number 2. I didn't get issue number 1. I never found it. And it jumps to issue number 8, and that's the gang storyline.
Oh yes, the Thunderheads. Whoa.
The Thunderheads. And then second season issue 1, which was
Galaxy Girl. Yes.
No, don't stop the music.
Oh, that's the one.
Oh yeah.
You gotta believe.
So those are the only ones I had. I thought I had. No, I have another one, but there's another one in here somewhere. I know there is. Because there's a Max Mouse one. Hold on.
Oh.
Where is it? Yikes! Who's invaded Jamal's computer?
Oh, nice.
A little dark. But then I had typed up my own descriptions of the episodes.
Whoa.
So like I wrote like how many copies I had of it, and this was only for like I think the first 2 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had like I'll just read you one. So Ghost Story. This was my description of it.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's kind of like basically because I had I'd recorded them on VHS. So it was Ghost Story copies 2.
Mm-hmm.
In the team's first case, Ghostwriter appears to Jamal, Lenny, Alex, and Gabby and helps them solve a mystery of stolen backpacks in the neighborhood.
It's kind of amazing that you were doing Rewatch recap even at that age, way back when.
I know, if you think about it. Yeah, it's kind of, I kind of did that.
It's
Yeah.
full circle.
Okay, here's Mr. Brinker's story. Okay. The team gets a new member, and they try to prove that Jamal didn't burn down the local video store because he doesn't tell the whole truth about his alibi.
Those are really good recap.
I mean, I was good, man.
Yeah.
I was good. I was like 12.
You're a prodigy.
Oh, here, I'll get you over the barrel. Okay, here's over the barrel. Copies, too, because I had the second season preview episode with Katie Couric.
Okay.
That's why I had 2 copies of it. While Gabby's working in the community garden, she suddenly gets sick and faints. Later, the team finds out that barrels of toxic waste were dumped there illegally. Now the team has a suspect, but they don't have enough proof to charge him with the crime.
Dun, dun, dun.
Because they do find out the subdeal, then they got to figure out how to stop it. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
That was great.
That's so
wow.
good.
I'm such a nerd.
Are you kidding?
Okay, so here, dear Ghostwriter fan, thank you for writing us here at Ghostwriter. I'm so glad you enjoyed the show. Unfortunately, we don't have individual Ghostwriter magazine subscriptions available this time.
Oh my god.
I was bugging the crap out of them. Like, what are you magazine? Here's another one from Children's Television. Dear Dustin, thank you so much for your letter. It is always good to get positive feedback about our program, Ghostwriter. Here is a parent pack you requested. I can't believe I requested the parent pack. So Bantam Doubleday had their own thing on the Scoop on Ghostwriter, right? On the set with Lenny, and did the interviews, like question and answers with like the actors.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I had Lenny, I had Alex, got Tina here, and I mean, and the new Gabby.
Oh, nice. Get to know the new Gabby.
Yeah, I got some kind of sticker thing. It was like I used like glue to keep it on, but this came on that.
Was it a light switch cover sticker?
There is a that's not. This is just regular stickers.
Okay, gotcha.
But I got the light switch cover. Where is it? Here it is.
Oh, that's amazing. I didn't take the thing out. That. Yeah.
I got a couple of them, so I did use them on one. But I got and it was supposed to glow in the dark. I don't know if it does anymore because I haven't tried to charge it. It probably doesn't.
Probably not.
In 30 years. So
yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing though. That you should be really.
Oh, but you don't even know. Listen to this. Okay. It says, I got the Ghostwriter video. I got 3 new Ghostwriter books. It's Alias Diamond Jones, Rally, and Blackout. Ooh. I decided to make a scrapbook, which is what I just showed you.
That's amazing.
That's why I love these blank spaces. I love these blank spaces where those stickers are going to be. It's so crazy. Okay. Oh my God.
Wow.
And my first entry in here was about Ghostwriter.
That's amazing.
My first entry in my journal was about Ghostwriter. So.
Wow.
Wait. Hold on. I wrote a Lenny song, basically.
What?
So it goes, Jamal likes karate, Gabby too. Alex likes to figure out where and who. Tina loves to shoot things with her camera. Lenny writes songs like Friends of Forever. The shy guy Rob, who they met at school. The bad thing is he had to move, so Hector is now a member too. And then Casey came. She's a joking fool. But the best one is totally cool. He'll always be there in great speed. The thing is, he can only write and read. He's very intelligent. He's a justice fighter. They gave him a name, and it's Ghostwriter.
Word.
It's totally a Lenny song.
That really is. All that needs is a beat and that's...
Oh God. Okay. I was going to ask what the impact it had on us, but it's very apparent.
Well, it's kind of obvious. Yeah. Well, okay. Impact wise, I have some interesting Ghostwriter related stories.
Okay. Go for it.
So I was in Japan for quite a while, and I was teaching English. And I got to know this really cool professor guy who kind of took me on as a teaching assistant. So every now and then I would be kind of the English teacher for the class. And I developed an entire curriculum of learning English as a second language based on Ghostwriter. I would show an episode. I made a worksheet for each individual episode, and I would stop the episode here and there, and there would be a question on the worksheet that you have to it's either like a comprehension thing, like what did Jamal just say, or something like that, or something like even more in depth that they'd have to answer.
Mhm.
And then from there, you could even go to other areas like Jamal on his old school computer. You could have a conversation question. Have you ever seen technology this old before? Or like, or like, what do you think about, this old style of computing, and have them talk about just random things. And I mean, it's not surprising because Ghostwriter was created as an educational program, but
Right.
using it in the context of like English as a second language, it was so seamless that my supervising professor actually told me if I wanted to get credentials, I could use this curriculum that I created as my thesis. Yeah. So I was pretty stoked to hear that I just did it because I like Ghostwriter.
That's awesome. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really funny. It's like you brought that up because, okay, so I have a friend who teaches another language. So some of them don't have really good like language skills or reading skills and whatnot. And I know one who was really struggling. He was telling me about kind of, and said, well, show them Ghostwriter, show them it's free on YouTube. And that way maybe could, because they move so slow and whatnot. And,
Yes.
for me, I was like, I wasn't a kid who needed to see it slowly. So I was like, move it or lose it. Let's go.
True.
But I understand as like for learning, like not, somebody who might be dyslexic or somebody who's just really having a hard time picking up reading in general,
Yeah.
or English as a second language type of thing, that would totally be beneficial for them.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like, people make fun of how slow the typing is and stuff on Ghostwriter, but
Yeah.
in an English learning setting, that was so valuable. I gotta contact the makers of the show and let them know how great it is.
Oh, I'm sure they heard. I think they got a lot of letters
Oh my
from
gosh.
teachers and whatnot, because teachers would also tape it and show it to their classes. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's really cool. And I really like that you came up with that. That was, that sounds fun, actually.
It was
it's
a
kind of like
blast.
yeah, it's awesome. I think that's great.
I think it could be really compelling to our generation to kind of have like a grown up kind of a revisit of these actual characters.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
It would have to take a different form for our generation to appreciate something. Like, I don't know if I'm making sense.
No, I see what you're saying. You say it would have to evolve because
Yeah.
we've all grown up.
Yeah.
And so
Exactly.
you wouldn't want it to be the exact same show with adults going, can
No.
you read
No,
this?
now that we're in the internet age too, like there's a lot of things
So
that
they're solving like murder crimes.
maybe here and there. And
Ghostwriter's going to the morgue reading toe tags.
but like in a lot of ways, Ghostwriter is sort of superfluous because we have the internet now. Like a lot of things that they would have to research back then can be easily found on the internet. So that would be interesting to figure out how is Ghostwriter so useful.
If you think about it, like if it were like, for real, like, so let's say it is kids today doing it and they're using the internet,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's kind of like they're training AI.
Oh,
If you think about it, I mean, I'm not saying that Ghostwriter is AI, but it's kind of like they have to use AI to like answer questions and like, did you mean this? Like Ghostwriter is kind of like their AI in a way.
that's a good point.
So I would want it to still be Jamal's family, and it maybe be Jamal as like the Grandma Cece character, but as a dad.
Nice.
Right. And then everybody else has kind of moved away and done their own thing. And every so often they come back.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And maybe another one, maybe like Alex owns the bodega now, that kind of stuff. And like his kids are involved. And, maybe Lenny still lives upstairs and, her dad has moved on or whatever. And she owns the place upstairs. She doesn't have kids, but she's like cool Aunt Lenny.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that.
It could be that. You never know. It could be stuff like that. And then we still get to see stuff. And I was like, I think it would be really funny to have a nod to the Apple series
Oh,
and say that No. Have like a funny kind of one-off nod, like how like Rob grew up and wrote books about their adventures as kids, and then they turned it into that horrible series on that streaming network.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's so good.
You know, and I was thinking like, okay, so everybody knows now what the whole big mystery about who Ghostwriter is. Like they've announced this. Anybody who has looked up anything about Ghostwriter has seen that they announced this, and I'm going to tell you who it is in case you're watching or listening. So if you don't want to know, turn it off.
Yep, exactly.
This is your warning. So they announced that Ghostwriter was going to be an ancestor of Jamal's, and he was a runaway slave, and he was teaching kids and other slaves to read and write, which was basically illegal.
Yeah.
So he ended up getting hunted down by wild dogs, and these white men, and he got killed.
Yeah.
That's basically the story.
Yeah, I remember that one.
So I still think we could still have a mystery around Ghostwriter, like who exactly was he? Like the name of the person. You know what I mean?
That would be
and
so cool.
how related to Jamal, that kind of thing, so that his spirit ended up in the book that was down in the basement. Kind of thing.
That would be great.
How did that book end up there and never been opened in all this time,
Wow.
That's kind of those things you kind of think about, like, oh, but we could still have some mystery there where they still have to figure things out. And so maybe that's what the adults are doing while the kids are solving another mystery.
Yeah.
Like the kid-sized mysteries. And so the main story arc mystery of Ghostwriter is still going on, and the adults are still kind of meeting over it.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so good. Question, would you try to track down the original actors for the adult roles, or would you bring in some fresh talent?
Yeah, and see, I wouldn't want to replace them either.
Nah.
I would not want to replace them.
No.
So if they didn't want to do it, then I would, like, all right, that sucks, but maybe I can convince them. Can you at least just do a walk on just for one episode? Just be like, hey, I'm here, and I'm still alive. I would try to do that, but if they didn't want to, we could just talk about the character and,
True. Yeah.
I would never recast the original characters, but other than that,
yeah,
I would try to bring everybody back who I could.
I think that's like the hope for our generation. That would be amazing.
Hope for our generation. Oh my God. That's so funny. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much.
Oh yeah.
So let's talk about Etsy, your Etsy shop, Rally J.
Oh, thanks.
We talked a little bit about that earlier. So you grew up loving the 90s like I did, because we grew up in the 90s.
Yeah.
And a lot of your stuff is based off 90s stuff, maybe some 2000s things.
Yeah,
and a little bit of today. A little bit of today mixed in.
True. Yes.
What if, besides Ghostwriter, what other 90s shows do you love, shows or movies do you love and that you have made designs for?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think besides Ghostwriter, the other most significant group of shows for me growing up was the TGIF lineup on Friday nights on ABC. That
Right.
I watched that religiously with so much energy. Like when it was getting close to 8 p.m., I was just bouncing off the walls, so excited. And almost every show I loved desperately. I think Boy Meets World was a big favorite of mine. Another kind of a show where you felt like you really knew the characters and you almost felt like you had friends because you're watching this show. And actually, a number of my Boy Meets World themed items in my shop are some of my top sellers. So I know that Boy Meets World is a pretty beloved show for a whole lot of people. And so, of course, Family Matters included with that, Full House, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, all of those shows just were magical. I think TGIF was special because it kind of marked the weekend too, because you knew that the next morning you're going to wake up and watch cartoons and eat cereal, and it was just like excitement of the weekend just got escalated tremendously. So I look back on that with a lot
of Speaking of that, like the shirt I got from you, which was Mental Health Matters,
yes,
and the Family Matters font in front of Chicago,
yes,
skyline.
Thank you. Yes.
But I do love that. That's like a good take on it. It's kind of like, it's not a spoof, but it's kind of tributey, but spoofy, but also it's a good message.
Oh,
so,
thank you.
I really like that. So that's why I had to get it.
Ah, thanks. That's one of the ones that I think I might order for myself. My goal for my Etsy shop is to basically use it as a creative outlet for myself. Like I may have touched on a little bit before, but so I want to be more intentional to create an avenue for something like that. And even if, the stuff that I make doesn't really sell well, I only put stuff in there that I really like. So it's kind of a gamble to think that maybe someone out there will stumble upon it and they'll like it as much as I like it. And then they'll decide to buy it and it'll kind of spark joy in their life somehow. And I feel like it kind of connects me in a way to strangers. And I like that.
Hey, it connected us.
I know, exactly. Yeah. This is great. Like, where else would you find people that care as much about something like Ghostwriter, unless it's like you have that common ground, and where are you going to find it unless you have like a meeting point, So
yeah, I totally agree. And it's great that we can do that nowadays too, that we can like find something obscure, more obscure for us or maybe to many people. And then like, oh my gosh, you made that. Hey, I'm all about that too. Oh my God, and
yeah, I love that.
And it's cool, And I think that you and I have a lot of the same viewpoints on a lot of this stuff, which is great.
I think, I can honestly say I've never met anyone who knew as much about Ghostwriter and who was as passionate about Ghostwriter as I know that I am.
Oh, so I'm just like, we need to start our own little GW convention.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be great.
I just want to dress up with the Ghostwriter team and run around Brooklyn.
Seriously, that'd be awesome. I've always been curious if people living in Brooklyn even know about Ghostwriter at all.
Well, to bring that up, I don't know if you watched the previously on episode that I just did last week, which was actually probably a couple weeks from now, actually. The ladies from Sass and Sips podcast, one of them, Lisa, she was talking about how it was Fort Greene was only a couple of neighborhoods over from her, and they lived in, so she was like, it was great because it was like places I recognized, and and so it really felt like I was a part of the show, and she was all about it. So it was really cool.
Oh man, totally jealous.
So yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Tim, for coming onto the show and for talking to me about this for a good while. This is definitely going to be a 2-parter episode. So,
well, I appreciate you inviting me on. Like I said, it's a joy to be able to share things that you enjoy and to know that you're not the only one in the world that remembers this kind of stuff.
We're not alone. We're not alone.
We're not alone. Yeah. You gotta believe.
And reach for the sky. Oh, okay.
So
all right, everybody. So that was our Ghostwriter nostalgic recap, if you will. And if you want to know more about Tim, there'll be some links in the show notes for his Etsy shop and for his socials. But go check it out. There's a lot of stuff, like you said, TGIF. You got Ghostwriter. There's some recent stuff, like tributes to some recent things that have come out. So just browse. T-shirts, hats, bags, all types of stuff you can find there. So look up Rally J Designs on Etsy. Like I said, links will be in the show notes. And make sure you comment and subscribe to the show so you'll be alerted when there's new episodes. We want to, we want to interact with you guys. So come on, watch, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And until then, thank you again, Tim.
Yeah.
And have a good week, everybody. Bye.
Word.